Sup everybody, I'm Andrew Shifu VA. So I was scrolling through YouTube today in search of underrated anime list and I couldn't find any video, not one single video about them. So since I watched like a handful of anime, I think, maybe I can make the list myself. So that's what I did. I prepared like 10 animes that are really underrated and great as well, because if no underrated anime, I mean, there are animes that are underrated and not good, but yeah, well, this one gonna portray like good underrated anime. Yeah, so maybe you agree with me. So let's see. Without further ado, let's go. First we have Honey and Clover. It has 2 seasons plus specials. I'm gonna start by saying that this anime is a must watch, but it's mostly dedicated to people that are in college or already finished it, because the environment makes more sense, but not with a lot. So the series goes through a lot of emotions and mentality states, go through the journey of rediscover yourself, the one love that is unrequited, or the love triangle, the relationships you create with your roommates, your friends, and so on. From my point of view, Honey and Clover, it's a masterpiece that is way too underrated. And I know that at this point it is considered a bit old, but it is an anime that will make you feel wholesome. Brings back the memories from your college if you finish. Like I said, it's just a really good anime that you should watch. Next we got an ultra amazing action extreme packed anime, and no, it's not Attack on Titan, it's the non-Titan version, Black Lagoon. This anime is somewhat underrated, especially the second and third season, even though the story is pretty interesting and it follows a string of intriguing events. After a normal, boring person goes through a trip to Southeast Asia to deliver some Death Note papers and gets caught by the Pirates Bay. Well, he then decides to join them as opposed to getting him as an hostage, since the company doesn't give a yen on him. So, the Suicide Squad begins. I really recommend this anime because it has a lot of action, you don't get bored by it. I know it's not really an underrated anime, but mostly because of the first season. The other 2 seasons, even though they are really good, not a lot of people watch them, and I really don't know why, because the scores they're really close to one another. But I really recommend this because it's action mostly non-stop. Next we change a little bit the pace and we go into a slightly more relaxing genre. That is the musical anime side. So I'm gonna be honest, the first couple of episodes, both main characters kind of pissed me off, because one, we have the handsome guy that is too good for the rest of the plebs because he's way too talented for the mortals around him, and it's adored by every girl for some reason. And then we have the clumsy cute girl that isn't that good at piano, because you cannot make a couple with 2 perfect people. Am I right, anime? Yeah, and she latches onto him like a bed bug, and then the story of those 2 begins. Slowly but steady, it is a nice romance story, but it is way too underrated. I think maybe because it is in the music genre. I know a lot of music genre animes that are, really popular and some overrated, and I don't know why this one didn't catch the overrated fever. I think maybe this anime hits better if you play an instrument, like myself. I play guitar, and maybe resonated with me more. But yeah, if you want to watch this anime, it has 3 seasons, 1 movie, and a lot of OVAs. But they are worth it because the story goes throughout multiple years and you see their evolution, not in the physical evolution, but more of their mentality and how they connect to one another. Next we have Bakuman. Well, Bakuman is kind of a niche anime just because the story that it portrays, it's different from other romance animes. Here it follows the story of a middle school boy that has a crush on a girl. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, except the fact that the young boy along with his best friend go on a wild 10-year adventures on becoming the best mangaka in Japan, while communicating with his crush that became a voice actress in the meantime. The only thing that really bothered me in this series is that the old characters are living in the Pokemon world where nobody ages. Like for 10 years they look absolutely the same, but that's about it. The entire show is awesome, and if you are into drawing, I really recommend watching this one because you can actually learn something useful from this one, Next we have Daily Lives of High School Boys. Unfortunately this one has 1 season, but this anime is on my top 5 favorite comedy anime. It's a brilliant comedy that shows how dumb and immature high school boys can be. but it's not that underrated like the others, but it's still a masterpiece of a comedy anime. All three dudes are absolute savages when they come to stupidity, and every episode is another adventure of how they can fuck each other up, so I really recommend this one if you really wanna laugh. Going back for a second on a more serious tone, we have Death Parade, which is an aesthetic masterpiece. The colors and the environment are absolutely majestical. The story is unique as well because there are gods and living dolls with will that wait for people that died to make them choose to play a game or choose to die. Almost every time the dead people come in pairs of two, and they once knew each other in their life but forgot their memories. And from there on it's like win or die. There is more to the story that meets the eye, so I won't spoil it too much. I'm just gonna say that if you love a good animation and an outstanding story, you should really watch this one. Unfortunately, it has one season, but it has one alternative, let's say prequel episode, so you should really watch this one as well. Damn, we have Prison School. Well, this one really caught me off guard because the first episode makes you roll on the floor laughing for real. The way they animate their faces and their reaction is absolutely brilliant. The characters and their unique quirks and stupidity is amazing. The action begins with a handful of guys that are treated like prisoners after transferring in the first semester after the all-girls high school reforms to a mixed high school. Well, the ecchi tag in this one is legit even though nothing flashy shows. It leaves your imagination to do the rest. Each episode is even funnier than the previous one and so on, but it has a story as well. But that I'm gonna leave it to you to find out because it is worth it 100%. It is one of the best comedy animes out there. Now we have the Devilman Crybaby, the alternative version, the latest one from 2018. I'm gonna start by saying that the ending of this one caught me by surprise because I did not expect that twist or the story to turn out the way it did. So this is the alternative version of the original Devilman that at core it has the same resemblance to this one. Don't get scared by the animation. I know it looks a bit different, but the action is amazing. At the beginning is the basic story of a boy gets possessed by a demon. He controls the demon somehow, then fights against the other demons, but you should wait for the end because your mind will be blown away. The last comedy anime on this list is gonna be none other than Grand Blue. I mean, hands down, this is my favorite comedy anime so far. I remember watching it by accident because I misclicked the anime. I didn't know until the end that I watched something different than what I intended, but man, I regret nothing. It opened and filled my mouth with laughter so hard that I cannot describe. This comedy follows a boy that moves to a coastal town for his freshman year in college at his uncle's place, where he meets his two childhood cousins, which of course they are girls, and a bunch of weird naked dudes that are built like a truck and drink like Russians. Well, from there on it's a downhill from him and his friend that he made in first day in college by accident. They go through a lot of let's say adventures while trying to learn to scuba dive. If you are depressed or in a bad place mentally, trust me, watch this show and you'll feel a lot better. I mean, I know Japanese people don't have it with sarcasm and stuff like this, but I can't believe this anime is so awesome and so it's a must watch. And the last one we have Fully Cooley, the first season, and the only one that really matters. This is a mind-bending anime that twists every law of everything in existence, okay? Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but this show has the dementia tag for a reason on the My Anime List website. This anime has quite an interesting story in just 6 episodes, 20 something minutes each. But basically a weird anime girl waifu comes in the scene and the other main character grows a horn on his head, and then everything falls into chaos as the main waifu battles with her bass guitar. The weird creatures and stuff, yeah, it's filled with weirdness, but the good kind of weirdness. It has more than one season, but let's not talk about the other ones. So that was it, guys. That's my first part of the 10 underrated anime. Well, let me know if you watch them or if you really want to watch some of them, and catch you next time on the next part. I'm Andrew Shifu VA. Thanks for watching. See ya.